Blog Talk Radio.
Jay, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, yeah, Swami's called into the show, but his microphone is not outputting anything. So
have him call on the telephone.
Well, he's called into the show right now. He's in the queue, but we're not getting anything. Swami, if you can hear us, can you call on a landline? Okay, Swami, he's hung up at this point. It shouldn't be too much longer until he calls in. I guess not entirely sure if he's got a theme for the show today or not. I'd discuss that if I knew it, but we didn't actually get a chance to talk to him before the show because his mic wasn't working. Yeah, I'd play a little bit of music here or something to just fill the gap, but I can't imagine it's going to take him all that long.
Why don't you talk about your experiences you've been going through since your initiation?
Well, I mean, I guess yesterday on Red's show, right near the end, yeah, I missed most of the show accidentally, working on Carolyn's awning, trying to get the awning on her RV up, and had an interesting experience yesterday. I think we got Swami here. We'll see if we can get him in, and maybe we'll talk about it then.
Hello?
Hello?
Swami, is that you?
Yes.
All right, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me fine?
Yes, that's coming in good.
Okay, I switched to another microphone. So.
Okay, that did it.
Oh, very well. Namaste and welcome to Meditative Living on this technical extravaganza called independent media. I welcome you with great love and great respect. Thank you for coming by to share some time. We call this satsang. By the way, my title is His Holiness Swami Shivananda Giri, and I represent the blessings and teachings of His Holiness Mahamandeleshwar Paramahamsa Swarupananda Vishwaguru Maharaj, which is a whole lot of syllables for just a very incredible being who took the time and the energy to teach and train me to do what we are engaged in at this moment. All right, reset. You guys, oh, and hi, Jay. Welcome to the show.
Still there. Oh, there.
Muted, and basically because I have a breathing problem, and it has a tendency to magnify through this mic and make me sound like Darth Vader. So I have a tendency to mute the mic and just listen. And I also, instead of listening just down on the radio, I came up today because lately we've been having technical difficulties with Type 1 radio at recording and people hearing it. I want to make sure we have a recording to get out to them after the show, just in case they don't get to listen to the show.
All right, great. Thank you. Unfortunately, I heard the, the file that was uploaded, and it sounded absolutely no different than what I heard when it was happening live. So I'm not sure if there's an end run around this thing to be done, but we shall endeavor to move forward. Okay, reset. You guys were talking about something?
Oh, we were just wondering what we could fill a little bit of time with until you called in, and Jay suggested I maybe talk about the thing I mentioned at the end of Retta's show yesterday.
Well, now that would be just a lovely place to start.
Okay, then. Well, anyway, yeah, I kind of got into this a little bit yesterday on Retta's show, but last night, well, not last night, but the night before, I wasn't able to fall asleep at all. I just kind of laid here tossing and turning all night. And then when I finally did get, up and out of bed, after I'd taken a shower and stuff, I'd noticed that one ear was kind of, I don't know, it's. I almost thought that there was water in my ear or something like that. But then later on after that, it happened in the other ear, and that was well after I was away from the water.
It's as if there is an obstruction.
Yeah, it almost kind of seemed like that, and I could hear myself when I was saying anything or breathing. I could hear it like in the center of my head, and I also noticed when I was taking steps, when my foot hit the ground, I could hear that footstep in the same place that the speech and the breathing was all coming from, in the center of my head, and it was kind of freaking me out. At a certain point, I thought maybe I might need to go see a doctor or something because something might be medically wrong. But I don't know. Just I decided to mention it because Swami was, I forget exactly what he was saying, something about. Well, yeah, he said this thing, and just after he had finished saying it, it took him like, I think, 2 minutes maybe to get the whole thing out. Just as he finished saying it, it went away. And it was the weirdest thing. And I wasn't really going to mention it, I guess, but just the fact that Swami was talking and that it went away right as he finished what he was saying there just seemed like the perfect time to mention it.
And it was. It's a very valid and deeply penetrative yogic experience. You have now had exposure through your externalized mind. You also, while the whole mind thing was going on, became aware of something that is entirely internal. So your awareness is expanding, and when you perceive these things, you are actually piercing through to what in esoteric traditions is referred to as the heart space within the head.
Okay.
This is the heart spoken of almost all the time. In general esoteric parlance, it is this heart, not the physical heart chakra, not the pump. No. Talking about that. And it becomes apparent to someone who is involved in the esoteric investigation of primal vibrational frequency.
Yeah, and I remember one thing you saying was, you may even, if this happens again, you may even be able to hear or detect or whatever, your blood flowing through your veins. And, had I been in a, quieter place yesterday and maybe even, thought, oh, well, maybe I should try meditating while this is happening or something, I'm sure I probably would have, because, like I said, it was very weird being able to hear my breathing in my head. Aside from hearing also my footsteps in my head, that was very odd. I noticed that I take a step and there'd be this kind of thud in the center of my head.
Right. Yep. Very valid experience. There you go. Congratulations. Once you win a prize, it's yours to keep.
What did you say the name of it was again?
The Hamsa mantra, because when you listen to it closely, the one movement sounds very reminiscent of hum. The other one sounds like sa. And when you put them together, you have hamsa.
Okay.
And that's what that is referring to. The perception of it. And when that takes place, other things generally occur where you will have audio awareness of more subtle frequency than you had been aware of before. So it can be related to body, which is the way it's shown up, and it can also be related to just basically pretty much anything else.
Swami, I noticed that when a person breathes, they're actually producing those sounds. As they inhale, the sound comes in, and as you exhale, it's like a ta. It's just, and you're doing it unconsciously all the time.
26,000 times a day.
Automatic. That's why they have to focus on the breath. The breath's got the answers there too. Right in there, it's giving you the vibratory frequencies.
But see, for so many of us, for so long, we're not hip to the frequency angle. It's all in the more gross and divided apparent reality of separate things, rather than the wave, which only becomes a particle upon observation. We're in the particle state trying to figure out the wave part. And then once both are occurring at the same time, you're liberated. That's just pretty much the way it works. One can have many, many enlightened experiences, but they come and they go. And unfortunately, a lot of people have promoted the word enlightenment and as if that state were apparent by these phenomena. And this is incorrect. The experiences have a quality of their own, but until the enlightened perception is what you see all the time, quite directly and consciously, then it is still only a belief. When it is knowledge, it can be nothing else. It's like, think of yourself as a light bulb with paint on it. The light you emit is not affected by the paint. The paint is there, and therefore some effect is apparent simply because the light exists. And regardless what the apparent effect is, the light itself is not influenced by this. It is only apparent in the perception of effect. When you can sit quietly at that point where the effect issues from, it is clearly seen, I'm all this stuff. You know? And a lot of things will fall away. Misunderstandings. And you start to incorporate and integrate both within and outside, depending on the nature of the phenomena you experience. But each and every iota of that phenomenon is designed for you. Only by your apparent individuation can it be observed. Don't get locked into the observance of some phenomenon. You're before that, unaffected by any of that. It seems as if you are, yes, for a very long time. That's the objective. You had to forget, or individuation won't stick. Then, once you're in the individuation, you're moving amongst the forces of karma and dharma and whatever the influential vibrational frequencies are, interpreted by the senses and evaluated by the externalized mind. All these things paint on your light bulb. You're a very good bulb. Bulbs don't vary in function. In degree, yes. But that degree does not get changed by any outer influence, now does it? It is an increase in power from within. Meaning the apparent had no effect. It is the subtle from which all effects manifest. When you sit there, when you see this, it's not about controlling it in any way. To feel a need to control is from the individuation point of view, because it will pay off in one way or another, perceptively, but not truly, because only the direct and conscious perception, whether it be through a visual means, a sound means, a kinesthetic experience of sensation, any number of ways. There's no limit on that. You're designed to collect these things. This soul, this individual container, which picks up experience and lessons lifetime after lifetime after lifetime spent in forgetfulness. Always moving closer and closer to completion. Except when you're not. Depends which way the attention is going. What is it following? When we go into meditation, we allow any thoughts to rise up, doesn't matter, no evaluation, no judgment of those thoughts at that time. Mind is doing what it does. We focus on the mantra. We generate the frequency that rejoins us to the original condition. And as this occurs, numerous phenomena will take place. And there is no prize to be won for the coolest. They don't even fairly represent one's full abilities. In the last body, you may go at a very subtle pace because you don't need all the big flashy stuff. So those of you who feel this unmistakable draw inward to the reality that you are participating in, follow that. When your nose is pointed in that direction, anything required for you must come across your path. Period. That's how it works. Mind will throw you all sorts of nonsense to veer you away from this. Okay, let it try. You know that it's going to do this. Its function is to separate, describe, evaluate. This is what it does. From the perception of a singularity through vibrational frequency formed into letters which combine to create words which denote things and are discussed using sentences and paragraphs to further separate the indivisible. But that's how the mechanism works. So just roll with it. Sit. Be quiet. Do the mantra. All that's necessary will roll to you. You've upset the balance of the table. And it's a very cool thing. Reset, we got any callers?
Yeah, we have Michael on the line.
Oh, great! Namaste!
Namaste. Can I be heard?
Yes.
Yeah?
All right.
How is Scotland?
Very unusually warm. We've had ridiculously... we've had almost no clouds, so we've had so much sunlight between summer in the middle of Scotland. Very, very unusual.
Really?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Also,
Have you enjoyed it?
sunburn all over my back. I feel the burn, just not the right burn.
See? those sensory inputs are occasionally some fun to play with. How's practice?
So far, so good. This week, because of the very similar weather, I've had very bad hay fever. I finally figured out how to get over that, so it will no longer be a problem.
What method are you using?
Mostly diet restriction. No milk, no sugar, eating lots of oranges, and drinking nettle tea.
Drinking what?
Nettle tea. Tea from the nettle plants.
Oh, okay. All right. Sounds like you've got the whole sattvic lineup working for you right now. In the yogic diet, these things which you are consuming are the most life-bearing and the purest expression into the form which can be utilized by the human body for its functioning.
Okay. Well, I unfortunately missed a bit of that because I'm in a common room, and a couple of my roommates just walked in. So I had to... Oh, I was talking for a second. I'm really, really sorry about that, Swami.
Oh, well, tell them we say namaste.
They've all left because they thought I was talking to myself first.
Well, you know, in the bigger picture, you are.
Yeah.
That's good. Very, very good.
But again, I've fixed the hay fever issue, so I'm back on to semi-normal scheduling. Now I just got to manage to start waking up at 4 a.m. again, and I'm golden.
Excellent. Excellent. See? You see what happened there? What did you learn through that?
I should watch what I eat?
Exactly.
Okay.
It's very real. You are what you eat becomes just quite apparent and annoying at some point.
Well, I also learned that unfortunately there was something I've been eating a lot lately that I didn't realize I wasn't supposed to eat. There's several of puris here during dinner time, and I didn't realize the puris were deep fried.
Well, I'm glad you became aware of it. That's the only way to fix it.
Yes, but now I'm also not eating the puris here, but I think that's, I haven't had that much happen during practice. I'm, again, just finally getting back to normal again.
Very good. Remember, the race is not about what you see along the way, is it?
Yes, that's very true.
As you float along the river that is the expression through vibrational frequency of light and knowledge into darkness, as you follow this river, regardless what appears on the bank, you are following directly back to the source. And whether the bank shows you something boring or something exciting, it is only by your progress that there seems to be change. Just watch it roll by. You are kicking ass. Subtle things are occurring. Any other comments, questions, complaints, or ideas?
Nothing that particularly needs to be discussed here. I did have one question, but it's fairly specific, so I'm not sure if you want me to bring that up or not.
If you have any hesitation about it, respect that, and we'll discuss it privately, okay?
Okay.
I don't ever want anybody feeling uncomfortable about what we discuss in satsang, considering our very public presentation. So,
It's not that like
that's
I'm
fine.
embarrassed about it or anything. It's just it's very, very specific. So I'm not sure if it's related. It's going to be relatable to anyone else.
Do you wish to ask about this then?
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear anything. So I was wondering. It's just that mostly because I'm in a Hare Krishna ashram.
Uh-huh.
Usually, whenever a visiting guest, particularly a high-ranking guest or a very forward guest, will talk with me, and they find out that I'm not a Hare Krishna, I usually get a very long lecture from them about the importance of Krishna and why in the world would I ever worship Shiva and all this other stuff.
Right.
And I'm not quite sure what the best response would be. Normally, I just say I trust my guru, or I'm like, yes, you're absolutely right. I'm just not ready for that yet.
No. You say, I am glad you are so happy. Get them to discuss their experience of the divine through the form in which they have established Ishwara, or their conceivable form. Celebrate that with them. It's not about the fighting or the difference. Step in that same spot, see what happens. It takes both of you for any sort of an argument to occur, each holding a different view. Right?
All right. Thank you
You
very
will have
much.
folks from dogmatic states of consciousness. If you are different than they got to fix that. Okay, let them play. Let them play. If you take them to discussion of the divine and its effect in their life that they can relate from a personal level, you will both sit in the same place. And then whatever description comes up is completely valid, just individuated. You can't do what they've done. You haven't had the karma and the influential experiences that they've collected. Neither can they do what you do. Unity is not about gathering up all the pieces into a big freaking pile. It is about sitting quietly in that spot from which all the variation occurs. And when you sit there, regardless how many join you, you become the same, just expressing differently. You become the spiritual Baskin Robbins. 31 flavors, but it's all just ice cream. Have whatever you like. Decorate it up with all the bells and whistles and whatever. Doesn't matter. That they make the effort to tread inward is great. So you're not doing anything wrong. You are of a different nature than the core of what they're following, but what they follow, what you follow, both lead to source, the same place. So it doesn't matter which path you walk, as long as you're walking. That's important. If sensory load and individuated, externalized mind were all that was occurring from dusk till dawn, none of this could reach you via either method. So celebrate their devotion with them, realizing it is only the appearance of a them at all. This is Guru Seva. This is our service we perform through physically functioning that is in honor of the source from which all knowledge and light come. Remember, Guru does not mean a two-armed, two-eyed, serene human being. No. That's how most people identify. Yes. But Guru is the light and knowledge that removes darkness. That's what the word means. The individuation that you encounter as the two-armed, two-eyed, serene Guru has simply taken this same physical form that you have and marinated it and immersed it in this flow of light and knowledge until all perception from the inside of anything else was gone. Then they have the title, Guru, because then through them and that individuated unit of consciousness represented by the body-mind, now through that, this light and knowledge may flow to others. And this Guru status manifests in many, 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 many different skill sets and completely valid. There are gurus of music. There are gurus of construction. There are gurus of mathematics. There are gurus of speech. You know, I mean, those who really understand and see from the origination point of view how their specialty fits. I just happen to come up in a tradition that is of the two-eyed, two-armed, serene guru type. But that doesn't mean that my whole time has been anywhere near serene. It's all okay. You're just being you. You've been asked to take on this forgetfulness so that this you may come home. It's all about the joy of rediscovery, the recognition of what has always already been the case. Whenever you can connect with that in another form, be it from this planet or any other, be it existent on this realm or any other, this dimension or any other, you can share things at a level your mind and senses do not touch. Not because they're being punished, because they're not designed to. They are designed to be seen through, and whatever way you come to that is fine. So, Mike, can you go with that? Does that make sense?
Absolutely, Swami. I'll listen to it a few more times to make sure it makes sense.
It is yourself dressed up as someone else, like answering the door on Halloween. It's It's okay. Give them what you've got. A lot of this is trial and error, to be very honest with you. As we progress in the practice, as our meditation deepens, as things fall away, it can cause, this sense of instability, which is perfectly natural. In fact, it may just scare the shit out of some people. And that is totally natural. Because when what you have completely invested your time and effort in seems to be going away, that can be really scary. But it's okay that perception be there. It is one of the many possible. So it's fine. Just keep going. More paint on the light bulb, that's all. Okay? Allow these things to be exactly as they are. When you touch them and dance with them, you bring about thought constructs and mental processing which are completely unrequired. Mind has a correct function, and it does this correct function when the correct relationship to it has been gained or remembered. And through each of these opportunities, Mike, that these people come to you, whether they hand you praise or attack, your task now is to see it completely equal. They are interacting with you by whatever means they are free to choose. See if you can direct them into a place where you can sit together. Doesn't matter how. Find that. And then it doesn't matter if the jelly is grape or strawberry. Everybody can enjoy the sandwich. Anything else?
No, I believe that's it for right now, Swami. Thank you very, very much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Without you, the form doesn't have all that much purpose. You dreamed this Swami thing up to tell you this stuff so you could wake up to that which has always been watching. Can the seer be seen? That's the great mystery. Seek that answer, and then all the other answers follow that. Reset? Anything else going on?
Not currently on my end, I guess. No, I mean, aside from you mentioning to me lately to maybe increase my meditation time a little and do more, daytime sitting meditation rather than just at night. Other than that, I think I'm pretty clear on where I'm at right now.
Well,
it's only been one day. Yes, it's only been one day, though.
Okay. Was it difficult?
But no, I mean, honestly, I don't know. Since I got down here, like I said, there's been so much weird negativity, it seems, flying at me that, I mean, I'd kind of sometimes I'd be standing by the window and just the need to I don't know, feel like I need to do the mantra. I just kind of do it there, but I'd kind of been doing it at random points throughout the day, I guess, but actually sitting down and taking a specific time, not specific time out of the day, but take some time out of the day to just sit down and meditate is something that I hadn't been doing, and that's, I did that earlier today, and Yeah, it's getting easier to do because I think I've been doing the mantra at just random points throughout the day at this point.
That's why we came at it from that direction. And started you with seated mantra of only 15 minutes once a day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Tolerate the 15 minutes to begin with and all that represents within the mind. And increase slowly the non-15 minutes association with what is really going on and the value. And the 15 minutes no longer seems to be such a big deal. Because you found there's a natural groove there that seems to have effect.
Yeah.
So as you now begin to not be so pulled as you once were by externalized mind and sensory load, you'll be able to find more attraction to sitting and being still and watching what happens. You've become involved in a hell of a drama.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I've got to say, I have to figure that that's one of the reasons that, that it's getting easier for me is because I almost feel like it's like instinctually something that I'm just doing to counter it at this point.
Right. The attraction to what is involved in the subtle begins to draw attention away from that which is apparent to mind and senses. Those things can all still be there while your attention is drawn away. No problem. Because there's something else which does not rely on your attention always watching all of it. That's okay. The subject-object split will one day come to an end. And in a very profound way, things will change, yet remain exactly the same. And it's somewhat frustrating because you expect, wait, no, there should be... No. Just because you heard about the experiences of others does not mean yours is to be that way. What would the point be in that? So you ride the river that you step into.
Yeah.
And it carries you, and sometimes it drags you along the bottom, and sometimes you reach over to the bank and you hang on there for a while until you just get pulled away again, off into the flow. Very good. This is how it's supposed to work. This is what so many people have somehow identified externally as scary, frightening, dangerous, of the devil. Now do you see why those who speak on the topic of what is of the devil would define this in that way? That was a yes or no.
Oh. Can you repeat the question?
No. You got to pay attention.
Okay.
All right.
Well, it's like you have to get rid of your fears, basically. And the best way to do
But those fears are not gotten rid of by any intellectual processes. It's by the understanding that they are not valid anymore.
Or the judgments on them that aren't valid. The things that you put...
Right.
All you got to do...
Wherever the attachment is, once that comes loose, it can be observed without the drama.
Yeah, and the heart center is the observer mode. Once you hit that, you can remove all the attachments. but they'll come up piecemeal, and they'll be reflected into the people you meet, and they'll help you remove those attachments. Believe me. Like I said,
and there will also be, during the practice time, latent impressions which have not yet found suitable conditions through which to manifest will also rise up within the mind, and the mantra will slice them off at the root. That's just the way it works, you know. But it takes a while to get to that point. Once you're doing that and this becomes apparent, things start becoming more simple. Latent things will still bubble up, and there will be all of a sudden, you're just pissed as hell for no apparent reason. That's okay. These occurrences take place. It doesn't mean you'll always be that way. It means that occurred. That's all.
You'll get to a point after being pissed that you decide, well, this don't bring me joy anymore. Let's go to a different emotion, and you.
Right.
And then you know
you very strongly and individually choose to perceive other frequency. You don't remain locked to that conception and eventual action or reaction. You just become aware that more possibilities exist.
It allows you to play on a larger playground.
Absolutely. Yep. And you've never been away from the playground.
You've always been there, you just haven't seen it.
Right. Been on it the whole time. But you just forgot. And each person, you know, it's a very, very high esoteric truth that the entirety of the visible frequency creation is the divine attempting to call attention to itself through every means possible. Through that shotgun effect, all will receive when it is correct for that one. It's highly, intensely individuated into the unity aspect, or actually the unity has no aspects. It has no other, no second, nothing different. Community is individuation cooperating amongst truth, communing. This is what we in Type 1 media are doing our best through our body-mind individuation limitations to express in individual and free media. And it's a blast. It just feels right. And there are people who hear it at a level that is below the inner ear frequency response. A sympathetic resonance occurs. Hell, Jay, you could speak on that, right?
Oh, yeah, I get a lot. Yeah, a lot of stuff comes to you, and there's no words for it, but there's volumes that are spoken.
Exactly. The intuitive perception ability just kind of steps up and really helps to take the place of the mental processing of thought constructs. This intuitive, for a long, long time, all I could come up with to call this happening was knowings. I don't have a linear, logical process by which I can take your mind step by step from where you're at to what I thought, what I knew, or anything like that. It just comes, and that's okay. It's supposed.
And
time away from the thought construct setup and tear down.
And don't fret what state you feel that you're at right now. Don't judge it, because everything's in perfection anyway. You're perfect in this moment. In the next moment, you decide to change your direction, and you still are in that same perfection.
It's all a vibrational frequency thing. If you can get a hold of that, you've got it all. Then the process just becomes observing, not the acting part anymore. We get so locked into our roles as individuated units of consciousness, fighting the good fight and, being bound or being liberated, and it just becomes so natural. But it's really not that way. Enlightenment is not truly a gaining. It's just the dropping of all the stuff you've been carrying around. And then the truth becomes self-evident. No one needs to learn you about it. You don't have to have a PhD in it to know it. It becomes apparent. And everyone hearing this advice is worthy of this process, this knowledge, this goal. Anybody unworthy of this has no interest whatsoever and would not listen to any of it. No problem at all. You're here. Let creation play out. You keep diving within. Go find what it is we're talking about. See, how will this express through you? Your book is being written right now. Our Creator loves you more than an ocean of diamonds, exactly the way you are right now. You only forgot. That's all. Namaste. I leave you with great love and great respect.